clear is that the authorities have not yet determined how she died, and that is going to be a critical component. Was it foul play or some other cause?
It's a little weird to see a car that I haven't seen here for a long time. Had a big dent on it, had a Texas plate on it, so all a little odd.
The evidence isn't just stacking up, it's exploding. A Burke, better known to his rabid Gen Z following as David, is now at the center of a probe that's turning stomachs from Hollywood to Houston. In the past week, outrage has reached fever pitch, not simply because a 15-year-old's dismembered remains turned up in the front trunk of his abandoned Tesla, but because, let's not mince words, his inner circle is accused of knowing far more than they've told the LAPD. Right now, devices are being hauled out of his rented Hollywood Hills pad, digital footprints are being picked apart, and the internet is doing what the authorities seem so hesitant to do, connecting the dots that point again and again to Burke and those around him. This isn't just about a single shocking incident. We're seeing a portrait of silence and self-protection, a bubble of friends, mods, and even management who, according to growing whispers, allegedly deleted evidence, suppressed critics, and shielded their golden boy even as horror unfolded under their noses.
Got a search warrant, which means they clearly were able to show a judge that there was probable cause to believe a crime was committed. But the police have been playing this really close to the vest.
We also don't know what David's cooperation has been with cops. We were told early on he was cooperating with cops. Now it seems kind of unclear, but it is kind of interesting because...
Well, he's not talking to cops.
That's what...
September 8th at Hollywood Tow, the moment LA police say they got the call. A Tesla with Texas plates baking in the sun, a stench so overwhelming that staff could barely open the trunk. Inside, the unthinkable, what investigators describe as a severely decomposed, dismembered body in a bag. A distinctive no reported theft, no missing vehicle. While the LAPD seized phones and computers from Burke's residence that same night, no arrest has followed. The car itself had been abandoned on a leafy street in the Bird Streets, a real estate with neighbors who actually noticed things. It had a big dent on it, had a Texas plate. People could be hanging out with friends for a long time, one local told ABC, trying to explain the inexplicable. A car linked to a chart-topping artist, left out in plain sight for days. What are the odds? How does it make any sense that a world-famous star's property becomes a makeshift tomb, and the investigation still stalls on the incident, instead of the word everyone's thinking, but no one will say on the record? We look back, and the story only gets stranger. Celeste reported missing in April 2024 from Lake Elsinore at just 13 years old. Flyers everywhere, a family in agony. The smallest detail, her tattoo, later confirming the worst. Her body was only identified thanks to that same mark along with dental records. For nearly a year, Celeste vanished from the world, and then, just one day after what would have been her 15th birthday, her remains surfaced inside Burke's Tesla, discovered by tow yard workers who, according to sources, had to step outside for air after opening the trunk. The neighborhood where the Tesla sat abandoned didn't just brush it off. Neighbors remembered the car, the odd placement, the fact that it didn't belong. As the LAPD executed their search on Doheny Drive, they were seen hauling out computers and hard drives, the kind of evidence haul that screams, "We think there's a digital trail." And yet, no arrests, only more questions.
Something else here, the fact that the body was dismembered, and I feel horrible saying this because you've got this beautiful girl on the screen who really should still be here, but her body was dismembered, and it seemed to be, the way they had described it, the medical examiner, very badly decomposed, which to me kind of indicated that it had been there for well over a month, and it was...
The outrage isn't just online, it's visceral. It's the kind of collective anger that erupts when every sign of influence, money, or connections working behind the scenes feels plain as day. How does a teenager vanish for more than a year, end up in the vehicle of a viral sensation, and the best the LAPD can offer is that Burke is cooperating, and the case remains a missing person investigation? Officials talk about the burden of proof, about not rushing charges. As one legal analyst told Good Morning America, without a confirmed cause and manner, there is no legal ground for an arrest. But for thousands watching the story unfold, that's just not good enough. Especially when you layer on the emerging evidence of digital manipulation and potential cover-ups.
That's her in my classroom, in front of this poster right here. She's been missing since I taught her. So when I taught her, she met this dude on social media. He was a rapper in LA. He came and got her. She ran away from home. She was gone for like a month. The cops found her in Hollywood, brought her back to our school. She came back to our school, kind of told people this story. She disappeared again in May of that year. And then I found out yesterday that she's now in that rapper's car.
If anyone still believed the internet was an idle bystander, this case proves otherwise. Even as police tried to retrace Celeste's final days, the digital world became its own courtroom. On Burke's own subreddit, users started to notice something odd. Posts about the case, especially ones critical of Burke, began vanishing. Fox 11 reported that he was the only moderator listed, and suddenly the entire forum was locked down, gone. Fans allege Burke was personally filtering out the heat, doing PR cleanup in real time. Then there's the Discord moderator, who publicly stated they believed Celeste was around 18 or 19, even though Revis's own missing person poster and her documented age were not exactly secret. Convenient amnesia or willful ignorance. The Discord mod said contact with Burke's management was minimal, but that doesn't explain how so many digital traces evaporated so fast. Here's the pattern. Anyone close enough to know better seems to be either deleting, excusing, or outright ignoring the evidence piling up in plain sight. Moderators, friends, management, even the world of music tour insiders with whispers of more underage fans possibly tangled in Burke's circle, and a chorus of online voices wondering how much was willful blindness and how much was direct involvement.
Division is investigating this case. They still have not said it's a
Correct.
meaning that
Well,
they don't know the cause of death. Obviously, yes, the body was dismembered and was, where the parts were in a bag that was in the Tesla, but they don't know.
Rumors have already escaped the orbit of fan forums and spilled into industry circles. Former crew and even a past road manager have reportedly tipped off blogs about a private club Burke allegedly frequented in Los Angeles, one where high-profile members take care of their own when the law comes sniffing. According to a post that's since been deleted from Twitter, everyone knew she was underage, and nobody wanted to be the one to stop it. No label exec has responded on the record, but the Whisper Network insists. The secret to surviving a scandal of this size is to keep the phones locked, the DMs wiped, and the managers moving fast. And boy, have they been moving. As the digital backlash reached a boil, the fallout from Burke's professional life became impossible to ignore. His final U.S. tour dates, set for San Francisco and L.A., vanished from Ticketmaster and venue pages without explanation. The sold-out Grammy Museum appearance gone, scrubbed from the calendar like it was never planned. Interscope has postponed the release of his deluxe album. Crocs and Hollister, both with huge campaigns teed up, yanked his face from their socials within hours of the news breaking. It's not just bad press, it's a slow-motion collapse, as if every bridge in his career is burning at once.
The internet began to start doing some sleuthing around David and very quickly found that David and Celeste actually had quite a history together.
Meanwhile, there's a rush to erase all physical traces. After the police raid, Burke's manager, Josh Marshall, moved to break their $20,000 a month Hollywood Hills lease. The homeowner told the Daily Mail he never even knew Burke was living there until the night police came knocking. Boxes moved out in a hurry, electronics seized. The house, once the center of an influencer's universe, is now just another ghostly address in a city littered with secrets. The digital cleanup is matched by a real-world vanishing act. No more Instagram stories, no more cryptic TikToks, just the occasional viral clip of supposed lights and voices in Burke's Hollywood home. Is he inside, hiding from the world? Or is it just loyalists keeping the lights on, fending off the truth for as long as they can? We're left with more questions than answers and a sour feeling that influence is buying more than just time. At every turn, there's a sense that someone, somewhere, is pulling strings to keep Burke out of handcuffs and out of the headlines. While the world waits for a single charge, a single public statement, the LAPD keeps sifting through evidence, fans keep scouring every digital footprint, and insiders keep whispering about more young victims, more secrets, more buried connections.
Didn't just remove shows from his website, also forced to remove some creepy merchandise from his site. So for people who don't know, David was selling a line of button-down shirts with bloody handprints on them. And Lauren, this wasn't like a Halloween thing, right? It was because one of his biggest songs called Romantic Homicide.
It's the people behind Burke who have become the next front in this unfolding scandal. We see his moderators, tour collaborators, and management, once just faceless admins, roadies, and business partners, now being dissected by the court of public opinion. The online consensus is turning ugly. It's not just one musician's secret, but a fortress built around him. A digital army that allegedly policed every mention, deleted every awkward question, and gaslit fans who raised alarms about Celeste. The story circulating right now is that Burke's career wasn't just about viral tracks and cool tour fits. It was about a carefully engineered fandom where if you knew the right Discord, the right sub, the right after party, you knew who Celeste was, and if you didn't, you were just one more ticket buyer in the dark.
Like, there's no possible way this could be some kind of insane cover-up, and David would have some kind of personal connection to this situation or person. But then, upon the discovery of this body, we began to get more information that raised some very huge red flags and concerns.
Manipulation is ruthless. We're watching Discord logs and archived chat screenshots leak into Telegram groups, each one dissected for names, timestamps, anything that points to a broader pattern. Since at least 2022, anonymous posters claim Burke's inner circle kept tabs on underage fans and muted anyone who got too nosy. Multiple messages, some since deleted, some surviving in screenshots, allegedly describe how certain favorites would be invited to VIP events or how moderators were instructed to age up users if parents started asking questions. Are these real? Investigators are combing through every last bite, but the speed at which this content appears and disappears has only stoked more suspicion. We're now hearing through DMs and third-hand tips that LAPD and even federal agents are trying to authenticate a trove of images showing Burke with girls who look distressingly young, some reportedly taken at tour stops, others at private meetups. This isn't just a public meltdown, it's starting to feel like the dam is cracking, and the water behind it is far more toxic than anyone wanted to believe.
It's interesting, he said she ran away in January, he came back, and then ran away again, or at least disappeared again.
And that tracks with what we had seen as far as missing, a missing children's poster that we saw. There was one earlier in the year, and then there was the one in May.
Nothing in this story happens in isolation. While his label freezes the album, while Crocs and Hollister quietly scrap ad buys, rumors keep swirling about the velvet ropes still shielding Burke from real consequence. The most persistent theory? That Burke's got connections deep inside a private Hollywood club, one with a membership list longer than a Coachella guest list, and a code of silence sharper than any non-disclosure agreement. A former sound tech for a rival act, speaking anonymously to a blog, claims, "You don't get that much access to talent and just not notice who's around." Everybody knew. Even industry insiders, the ones who usually protect their own, are breaking ranks. This isn't the first time someone in that circle skirted disaster, another tour manager told an indie podcast, but it's the most visible and the most grotesque. Is this the price of protecting a brand when the brands themselves are running for the exits? Maybe that protection is finally wearing thin. But here's where things get even more unsettling. Interscope's official channels are radio silent, but the gossip behind the scenes is loud. As soon as the story hit, US and European tour stops were vaporized from ticket sites, refunds issued, contracts ripped, sometimes with barely a sentence of explanation. The Grammy Museum, which had spent weeks hyping Burke's appearance, dropped all references in a single night. Insiders whispered that some managers warned him days before the LAPD raid, helping him clear out evidence and shift valuables long before the police showed up. Whether that's fact or just another internet fever dream, the speed at which his world fell apart is jaw-dropping. But even as fans mourn the collapse of their favorite star, we can't ignore the cold calculus of the entertainment industry. There's already talk of new signings, new faces to fill the void, and, if the rumors are true, a quiet cleaning house among his closest aides to make sure no one else gets caught in the fallout.
Big developments in the case involving the singer David and the girl who was found in the trunk of his Tesla. Notably, we broke a lot of stories yesterday, but one of the big ones was we were able to talk to a teacher who taught Celeste Rivas and had a lot to say.
We still don't have answers on the cause or timing of Celeste's passing, and every delay in the autopsy results just gives fuel to the next wave of conspiracy. The only certainty is that the digital paper trail keeps growing. Authorities are sitting on an avalanche of seized phones and computers, every device a potential Pandora's box. A single incriminating text or photo could send this case in an entirely new direction, not just for Burke, but for the entire clique that surrounded him. And if the group chats are to be believed, more than one person is scrambling to delete, relocate, or lawyer up.
And that was before he was even charged. There were people who backed off and, didn't want to be associated, didn't want to answer any questions about him. That's what happens in showbiz when you suddenly are the focus of things like this. All those people who are your friends go running.
The echoes from Burke's downfall have started to rattle the foundations of how fandom and celebrity really work in the social media age. What do we make of a world where thousands could watch, suspect, or even participate, and nobody actually does anything until a body appears in a trunk? Is this a story about a single musician's monstrous choices, or the algorithmic echo chambers that reward silence, worship, and obedience above all else? Some music bloggers have started calling it the first true Gen Z scandal, a nightmare tailor-made for live streams and Discord DMs, where everyone's both a spectator and a potential accomplice. We're not just witnessing the unraveling of Burke's career. We're watching the uncomfortable exposure of a system that makes it possible for this kind of thing to fester, with fans, staff, and execs all complicit in the name of a viral moment or a standout hook.
You know what? I can't confirm that. I know that I know the reports you're talking about, and we've been trying to confirm that they have, but that would be expected. And there have been other artists who have taken down songs that they collaborated with David on, and they've removed them from some platforms just because they have seen what's going on. And until, we know for certain, I think some artists will see David as kind of toxic.
The facts keep leaking, and so do the rumors. More than one industry veteran is now saying off the record that the LAPD isn't the only group interested in what's on those hard drives. The FBI's Cybercrimes Division has been quietly poking around, according to 2 tech consultants who say their contracts were yanked after the raid. At the same time, those who were closest to Burke are reportedly getting legal advice to keep their mouths shut, at least until someone gets charged. It's the classic Hollywood playbook: deny, delay, disappear, and hope the world gets distracted. Yet with every passing day, new messages, new screenshots, new stories find their way onto Twitter threads, private Reddits, and Telegram leaks, each one more damning than the last.
Now, in a story we've been following for nearly 2 weeks, singer David has canceled the rest of his U.S. tour after a girl's body was found in the car of his car at a tow yard.
He was scheduled to perform tonight in San Francisco and tomorrow night here in Los Angeles. This comes as police investigate the of a 15-year-old Celeste Rivas, who was reported missing from Lake Elsinore.
Even Burke's music, once a lifeline for millions, has become radioactive. Spotify and YouTube have seen a surge in negative comments, with fans dissecting old lyrics for hidden messages and reading sinister intent into every ambiguous line. The Withered album, which was supposed to be his breakout, is now a cultural caution sign. And yet in some corners of the fandom, the loyalists are doubling down, insisting it's all a smear job by jealous rivals or opportunistic trolls. It's a cycle we've seen before, but rarely at this scale, and rarely with consequences so grave. So here we are, waiting for the next shoe to drop. A body dismembered in a Tesla, devices seized but still locked away from the public, an entire entourage accused of silence or worse. Leaked chats, missing photos, industry bigwigs racing to scrub their ties. The whispers say more victims may still be out there. Unheard, maybe too scared to come forward, maybe waiting for the right moment or the right headline to break their own silence. And looming over everything, the suggestion that power and protection in Hollywood don't disappear overnight, even when the spotlight gets this scorching. We have to ask, if the police can't or won't deliver answers, will the truth burst out from a lost phone, a leaked DM, or the testimony of those who have stayed quiet too long? Is this the scandal that finally breaks the spell of celebrity protection? Or will we watch it fade like so many others? No charges, no justice, just another headline for the archive. Let us know what you think. Is the Burke saga just beginning, or has the real story been hiding in plain sight all along? Hit the comments, share your theories, and keep your notifications on, because in this case, no one knows what's coming next. Until then, stay curious, stay bold, and remember, sometimes the truth is darker than even the wildest rumor.